Don't stop.
Hi, thanks so much for joining me in the Everything and Anything in a Big A podcast. I'm your host, Zach Randall-Friedman, and today I have a fabulous, beautiful guest, and I'll tell you about her in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you about a little thing that me and my husband go back and forth about. So I order Ubers because I don't have a car in Boston, and so if I want to go to dinner or I want to go anywhere, unless it's walkable, then I have to take an Uber. And I have chosen not to have a car at this point because I don't go to an office. I do my podcast from home. So having, $1,000 a month car payment just isn't worth it. Plus insurance and maintenance and all that other stuff. So I have chosen not to have a car at this point. I do miss a car, but I rely on Uber, or I rely on my husband taking me places if I need to go places because he has a car. But here's the thing. I don't like the UberX. And the reason why I don't like UberX is because I rediscovered it last night why I don't like UberX. So I went out yesterday to dinner with a friend and had drinks afterwards, and I do Uber Comfort. I don't do Uber Black. I do Uber Black if there's a lot of us, like the big one, like the big SUV, because I don't want to be people sitting in the front seat and 8 people in the back seat. Like, that's just not for me. So I usually just do Uber Comfort. It's like nicer cars, but they're not luxury. There's no Mercedes pulling up. They're just nicer cars, more room. And so my husband's always like, well, just get the X. The ride's not that long. I don't want the X. And this is why. So last night after dinner and drinks, me and my friend Mark were waiting out front of the bar, and I was getting ready to order an Uber, and I had to pick UberX because the Uber Comfort was like 9 minutes waiting time. What else are the other ones? The Uber Black was like $96 to take me, 4 miles home. So I'm like not doing an Uber Black. And then there was just, I don't know what the other kinds of Ubers there were, but they were either like way far away, like 8 or 9 minutes away. So UberX said 2 minutes, and it was a lot cheaper. So I'm like, you know what? At the end of the night, I'm going home. I'm going to take an UberX. Of course, what pulls up when I get UberX is a Prius. I hate Prius. Every Prius I get into, even when I rented a Prius by accident one time, when I was traveling for work and they gave me a Prius. And here's the problem with the Prius. The warning light for the engine is always on. So me and this guy are driving up 93. I see his orange engine light on. I also see the indication that some of his tires are low because that little yellow thing that says your tires are low. So his tires are low. And then he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So the seatbelt reminder is going off like every 30 seconds. And I see the big red light for the seatbelt warning. And then I'm thinking as we're going through up 93, going 65 miles an hour, this guy's got bad tires. His engine's getting ready to blow up. Then we get the final light that pops up. The little red light with the heat. His engine is overheating. Yeah. I don't even know. I'm like, just get me off the highway. I don't want him to have a blowout tire and then we like flip over and die, and I die in a Prius. But I'm just like, just get off the, if he could just get off the highway, like I was close enough away from home that I could have walked. But we get off on my exit. We make it to my exit off the highway. We go, he pulls up in front of my house. And I thought, God, like, where does this guy live? Because how's he going to get home? His engine's overheating. He has a check engine light, which means he probably hasn't changed his oil in 3 years. And he's probably got at least 2 tires that are low air. Like, what's happening? Why are all Priuses like this? So when my husband yells at me, why did you have to spend this much money on a black car or a comfort car? This is why. Because I'm not going in UberX. And it's not that I'm too good for UberX. I just like my life. Yeah, that's what it is. And I don't want to be in these crappy little Priuses or these bad cars. And every time I get in an Uber X, it smells like somebody just like smoked a bong in the back seat also. So yeah, no, I'm not into it anymore. You know what? And I'm at the age where if I don't want to sit in an Uber X, I don't have to. So my husband has to stop pressuring me to save $3 to not go in the Uber X because he's not the boss of me. I'm the boss of me, and I do what I want. Anyway, today my guest, her name is Holly. She is an amazing ally to the LGBTQ plus community. She is so stunningly beautiful. Wait till you see her. She has retreats for gay men at her place in North Carolina. She is just, I loved her. I want her to move in with me. I want her to be my best friend because she is just so loving and has a great story. And I hope you enjoyed the interview as much as I loved speaking with her because she was so amazing. And if you don't watch my videos, just take a look at the image of her on the description of this podcast, the title card of the podcast, because she's so stunning. And if you want to see what she really looks like, go to the video on YouTube because she's worth looking at. I think she's beautiful. So thanks for listening to my interview with Holly, and enjoy and have a great week. Hi, thanks for joining me on the Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay podcast. Today I have an amazing guest, and I found her on TikTok. And you know, when I find somebody on TikTok, the conversation is always amazing. And this is going to be another amazing conversation. Welcome to my show, Holly.
Thank you, Zach, for having me so much. I can't wait to talk and see what we get into.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have such a fascinating background. You are formerly a pastor, right?
Yes. I have a degree in biblical studies from Liberty University.
And you were a triad wife? I had to look what that was.
A trad wife.
Trad wife. Okay, I'm sorry. A trad wife. And I had to look up what that was because I never heard of that.
Well, good for you for not ever having to hear that shit.
But basically, just for my audience, if they don't know what that means, it's basically a woman that's being a homemaker, cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids. Is that kind of accurate?
Yes. So for clarification, I went to Liberty University, Jerry Falwell School.
Oh,
and
wow.
I married his best friend's grandson because a prophet in my church told me that's who I had to marry.
Okay.
So it wasn't for love. It was more like a business transaction is how I would describe it. It was never loving or warm or kind or sweet. But, I did the whole damn thing of not kissing until I got engaged and not having sex until my wedding night. Huge problem with that. Don't recommend. 0 out of 10 would recommend that. But, I did. And I was all in and sacrificing. I thought I didn't want to marry him, but I thought the greatest thing I can do for God is be a martyr for God. And plus also remember, I'm 20 and dumb. My frontal cortex had not developed yet.
Yeah.
And we got married, and I was an abstinence until marriage instructor.
Really?
In Ohio, which I don't recommend that either. But I was, and I held many pastoral positions in my church and drank the Kool-Aid, until a few years into my marriage, my firstborn daughter died at birth.
Oh, sorry.
And I was mad at God, Zach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was pissed because the man that I married was not loving or kind. And I thought, how am I being punished?
Yeah.
I gave my whole life to the Lord. And then the daughter that I got pregnant with, we found out during the pregnancy that she had all these complications, but we went to all these healers and prophets, and they all said she would be healed and God would be glorified and I would spread his glory all across the world. And now I kind of do the opposite on TikTok.
Yes. You are doing the opposite. I never would have thought there was going to be any connection with you and Jerry Falwell at all because
I mean, I got married in his church. When my husband's grandparents died, we had their funerals in their church. We were very connected. And when I got on TikTok and started talking about this publicly, I lost a lot of family members.
And have they come back, or they're still gone?
Well, now that I have 750,000 followers across platforms, a lot of them have come back. Yeah. But they were so embarrassed for me in the beginning. I was an embarrassment. They were embarrassed for me. And now they see, how much I'm helping women. My focus is mostly women or oppressed people from the church, So
do you feel like you're in a cult?
Oh yeah, 100%. I was a Christian nationalist as well.
Oh wow.
I was a Zionist. I drank all of the Kool-Aid. Now, this is before Google.
Yeah.
Like, I only knew what I knew. I'm about to turn 49. So, you know what was taught to you, and you hope that you're being told the truth. I mean, I got a college degree, which I feel like is a bit of a waste because a lot of it was a lie and miscommunications and stuff. So yes, it was definitely a cult, because when I left and walked away, no one would continue to love me, and have me in their life. I was backslidden, angry at God, according to everybody. And really, I just got clarity that he was wrong about who I married, wrong about my daughter going to survive. And I called my professors at Liberty, professors who have written books on the Shroud of Turin and like all of these books, and had many emails back and forth and conversations. And they weren't able to pull me back in. I just kept asking questions. And of course, their response was, Holly, this is where you're supposed to have faith. Be a good girl and just have faith. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I feel like that's just bullshit. And you guys are just, stringing me along in this life and making me believe something that I don't think is true.
And we'll be right back. Okay, now back to the show. What did you not think was true? Just how you were supposed to feel and what you were supposed to do, or the whole premise of the religion that you were in, you didn't feel was true?
Well, I want to say that first before I explain, I am not here to pull anyone away from their beliefs.
Yes.
I think that everybody can believe whatever they want as long as they're not using it to harm other people.
I agree with you. I let people do whatever they want, but as soon as it impacts somebody else, then that's where I think it's wrong. So I'm on the same page. And I just and just so everybody knows, we're here to tell your story, and we're not, judging anybody else on anything. We're here just to because I think you're so fascinating, and I was so happy whenever you agreed to come onto the podcast, because your story is unique to you, but it's so many people have lived through similar lives. It's a lot. And a lot of people don't get out of it, and they spend their entire lives. And maybe when they get older, they realize, why didn't I do this? And so I'm so happy that you were able to be your authentic self earlier in your life and not wait until you were 70.
Right. Without social media and other people showing me the way, I was going to the library.
Yeah.
Because this was in early 2000s, 20-some years ago when this happened. So what I don't believe anymore, I don't believe that the Bible is without errors and is divinely inspired. There are 10,000 contradictions in that thing. Yeah. And I was told to have faith, but listen, if all love and all knowing God can create the world, he can create a factual book. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Second of all, I really got into learning about religious trauma and how, so I don't believe that people need salvation. I know that might be hard for people to hear, but I don't believe...
Probably not my audience. My audience is probably okay with that.
Okay, good. Because I have a wonderful Christian cousin who is gay and married and not having sex with his partner because he really still has faith in the Lord. So they're celibate married couples. So I know that there are plenty of gay people out there that still believe. So I don't want to offend them, but I just don't believe that teaching kids that we are inherently broken and sinful, and that causes so much shame. And shame is the biggest predictor of mental health problems. And shame keeps our cortisol levels high and not being able to make good decisions in our life. And it just keeps us down. And of course, I think that's the point. I think that's the point of religion a lot of times, to keep us in shame and to control us. But, when I started talking about these things, and of course, I was so angry how women got treated in the church, as well. And I went to the head pastor in my church and we talked about that. And another one of the pastors was like, I'm so intrigued by you, Holly. Like, what are you going to talk about if you get your own church one day? And my response to him was, I can cuss, right?
Oh, you can say whatever you want. Yeah.
Everything you motherfuckers don't talk about. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about relationships and abuse and equality and loving one another and not judging one another, And they just, of course, laughed at me. Oh, you silly little woman. But now that's what I do.
Yeah, and it's amazing. The support that just comes. I'm trying to think what the first video of yours that came across my FYP was. It might have been the what you're doing in June, inviting the gay men to a retreat.
I just want to mama them.
I know. And whenever I sit there, I think I watched it a couple of times. I'm like, this lady is amazing. The way you talked about like what you want to do with these gay men, I was just like, this is the person who cares, who like wants to help. And it just hit me. And I knew exactly what type of person you were from that one video.
It's probably a trauma response, to be honest with you. I have a savior complex. I wish somebody had saved me as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
And I just really want to help save other people. And I'm so grateful that I deconstructed from my journey before I had my children. I had 4 children in 3 years, and I have a bisexual daughter and a transgender son. And if I had not deconstructed their lives, we were on the train of conversion camps, Their lives would have been so different.
Yeah.
So in my deconstructing journey over the last 20 years, I wanted to dive deep into religious trauma and nervous system healing and rewiring your brain and developing a better self-worth and self-esteem for yourself. And so I know that my gay friends have really struggled with that growing up in religious traumatic families who are especially emotionally avoidant as well. And I just want the number one rule for healing is you have to be in a safe environment with safe people. That's the first step. And I happily got divorced like 8 years ago. Thank God. And I bought this big 15-acre farm and a beautiful 5-bedroom home that I've been renovating. And it has become my sanctuary, a place of peace and healing.
Yes.
And I want to open it up to do retreats for women, trans people. I have a trans retreat in November. And then June is Pride Month. So I thought I would do a retreat for lesbian women and for gay men. And I want to offer that I want to hold them. I want to hug them. I've written a 20-page document called A Love Letter in Defense of the LGBTQ Community, which I'm going to give to all of them so that they can feel rest assured that there is nothing in the Bible that says that they are broken or wrong or a sin. And that bullshit phrase, love the sinner, not the sin. Oh, God.
What do you think, though, what do you think these religions are so against I mean, it used to be gay people, and now it's switched. I think they're more against trans people even than
Yes.
gay people. And if you look at all these, legislation bills that are going in, and how many anti-trans bills there are, it
287 now or something. It's crazy.
well, since beginning of the year, the anti-LGBTQ plus bills are 517
Oh,
since the beginning of 2026.
wow.
And just talking about not being able to go into the bathroom, or you can't get gender affirming care. I mean, some of these things are just like, and the amount of time and money that they're spending on this,
Yeah.
and it's people it's less than 1% of the whole US population, and they're spending all this time. And like when there's any type of mass shooting or anything, they always try to put it on a transgender person. I'm like, what are they so scared of? What are these religions so scared of? I don't get it at all.
I don't think the religious people are scared about it. I think the people in power use it as a tool to scare them.
Okay.
Because I don't think I grew up and worked at a restaurant called Bonanza, and I met my first ever transgender person, and I wasn't scared of them. I sat down with her at a table and I was like, I have questions and I'm on my break. Will you talk with me? And I'm
Yeah.
16, dumbass.
Yeah.
And she was amazing. And she showed me so much love and even gave me one of her rings that I still have today. Oh my God, it makes me emotional. Hold on. So I don't think people are innately scared of trans people. I think that people in power need to always have a common enemy.
Yeah.
And being gay has become more acceptable in society, and everyone sees, oh, they're not raping and killing us like we thought they were. So nobody's really scared of gay people anymore. But let's come up with a new fear unlocked,
Yeah.
And so they use it to make everybody scared that these trans people are going to take over women's sports and be molesting us in women's bathrooms and changing the traditional roles that they so desperately, the people in power, want to hold on to, because they want men in power, because more women vote liberal, of course.
Yes.
So they don't want women having a vote, a voice, nothing. So they have to keep us underneath men. And it's just a fear tactic. They don't know what they're talking about.
So these men must be scared of you, I think, because you're so strong and you have your own mind and your own brain, and you will say your opinion. They must be terrified of you.
I get death threats, and
that's what I was going to ask. That was one of my questions I was going to ask you. What does your DMs look like sometimes? I can't even.
They either want to fuck me or kill me. It's terrible.
I'm sorry. I had to laugh. I thought that was just.
It's true though. It's one or the other,
Yeah.
And it's not just the conservatives. The liberal men are like that too.
Really?
Yeah. It's not. It's just the patriarchy that makes a lot of men who are traditional cisgender men. Okay.
Yeah.
My gay friends are not like this.
The gays must love you to death, right?
I love the gays too. We just have so much fun. I go to a lot of drag shows here locally, and I used to be an event planner, so I volunteer to do the events, and I just love on them too. But the cisgender men, they just want to, liberal or not, fuck me or kill me. So
wow, that's just like. And do you ignore the messages, or do you ever respond?
I just report every single one of them.
Yeah.
And block.
Yeah.
Some of them have deep dived and found where I'd lived and mailed me things and threatened me and stuff like that. But listen, I'm still a country girl that's locked and loaded. Okay.
Yeah.
I got security cameras out the kazoo. I'm a great shot. And I don't
So
have.
come on over then, right? Is
Yeah,
that what
come
you're
on
saying?
over, buddy. I got a pond, a 2-acre pond. You'll end up in the bottom of. So, you know, we already
I'm glad I'm
swam.
on your side.
I'm a Southern woman, but like a blue dot in a red state.
Yeah. Don't tell me your city or anything, but what state are you in?
Oh, everybody knows I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
And so that's okay. But I am in the reddest county in all of North Carolina.
And what do your neighbors and friends and people of the community think about you?
Well, I get dead animals at my driveway. I get my mailbox knocked over a lot, but that's okay. That's okay. Because anytime you stand up for something important, there's going to be a fight. And I'm a fighter and a lover, but I'm a fighter too.
And we'll be right back. Okay, and now back to the show. And how has having a transgender child and a bisexual child, how has that kind of changed your direction of advocacy for the LGBTQ plus community? Or were you already there and then they felt comfortable saying who they really were?
Yeah, I mean, I have 5 gay cousins. So when I started deconstructing, I was like, I bet I'm wrong about this too. And I was wrong. But my they're 18, 19, and 20 years old and stuff. I think that I'm a great ally until I talk to them. And they are correcting me left and right on.
Give me an example. I think you're from your videos, you're an amazing ally. So tell me what they think that you're not.
Well, they have taught me even a deeper dive, like the difference between gender fluid and non-binary. And, or, like not everybody wants to be called transgender. We just want to be called a man or a woman. And why do you have to identify us? We don't even want to be, have that term. Or they're just constantly educating me, even like when I talk about autistic people or whatever. Oh, no, they're not high functioning anymore. It's a low needs person, like.
Well, I'm with you. So I'm a gay man and I'm being educated on this stuff all the time as well. So don't think because you're a straight cis it's not that. It's because
old.
I mean, yes, we're old. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Exactly. So, because, there was things that, the way that we used to talk about people when I was growing up, I'm a few years older than you. And the things that we used to say.
You look amazing.
You look amazing. So I feel like we both look amazing. So. But there was like the R word we used to say. You can't say that anymore.
Right. They also told me that I can say queer now, which
yes,
I was like, are you
about a year ago, somebody came on my podcast as a guest and I'm like, what, where do you fall? Oh, I'm queer. I'm like, oh, like you're not supposed to say that. No, that's how I identify as queer. I'm like, oh, okay. And I learned that you can say queer now. So people are queer.
They're reclaiming it. And I love that.
Me too. I love it too.
Yes. Reclaim it all.
Yeah. And I want to go back to your cousin because I think it's so interesting because I had a podcast show. There's only 2 shows that I've done that I have not aired. And I've done about 250 shows. And one of the ones I did not air because I wanted to bring on a gay MAGA Republican man. And I wanted him, and I was so like not judging. I just wanted him to tell his story. And I wanted my audience to hear like how you go from being a Democrat gay man to being a MAGA gay man that hates gays, hates trans, will not sleep with a man and all this and like basically hates his life. And how did I wanted him to explain how he got there. And there's a lot of reasons why I didn't air his episode because I really went back and forth and struggled with it because I wanted people to hear his story, but he had some other challenges in his life. And I did not want somebody Googling him and putting me in the same box with him. So
yes, or spreading his toxic thoughts.
yeah, and he didn't tell me, and I'm like, well, you don't have any gay friends? He goes, no, because gay people are horrible. Basically, and so he won't date a man because it's against his religion, and I mean, he's basically living a
celibate life,
but not authentic life because he's so unhappy. I can tell during the interview, like he's just not happy because he's living in a very liberal state as well. And I'm like, leave. And there's a reason why he can't leave the state. I won't go into that, but he talked about it a little bit in the podcast. But he can't leave the state. And that's why he's stuck there. And all his friends are part of his church, and some of them accept him for who he is, but he's not totally accepted. So he's not accepted by the gay community. He's not accepted by anybody in the LGBTQ plus community. And he's not totally accepted in his church community either. So he's kind of like an outcast everywhere he goes. And there's no one's going to change his mind about any of this.
I'm sure he doesn't accept himself either.
Oh, he does not. Totally does not. But my question about your cousin is so they're together, but because of their religion, they will not have any sexual relations.
Correct. And they have been together for probably 25 years.
And it just never, I mean, as a man, that's important. It's an important part of a relationship for a man or a woman.
Oh, yes. I'm a highly sexual woman. Although I'm a monogamous whore, Yes. So I'm...
Yeah. Same. I mean, before I've been together with my husband for 27 years. Before that, I was just a whore. So I was just a little slutty in college and stuff. So I was there. But, we are monogamous, and one of the few couples that are monogamous that I know. And I just couldn't imagine not having any sexual relations with my husband, because that's such an important part of the relationship too.
Yeah. There's a lot of shame. The shame... guilt is feeling bad for what you did, and shame is feeling bad for who you are.
Yeah.
And shame release is so counterproductive to healing. It is the antithesis to healing.
Yeah.
And when you get stuck in a shame spiral that you are bad, and you're laying in bed at night and all of your thoughts are, oh, I didn't get this done, I'm not good, and I said this wrong, and I didn't do this, and I'm a terrible, terrible person. Like the scene in Games of Thrones where she's walking through the streets. Shame. Like, that's what you do to yourself at night. And I believe that's probably what he does. And when the cortisol mixed with shame continue, that loop happens, it becomes... So we have the ability for neuroplasticity, is to rewire our brains and heal our brains and our thoughts. But that combo rewires your brain into deep trauma and wounds, and it's hard to get out of if you don't have people around you to help you do that, or if you don't want to. Sometimes you get addicted, your nervous system gets addicted to that cortisol drip every day, and you can't live without some kind of shame and chaos. And it's so sad. He's living in his own personal hell.
And have you talked to him about that, about maybe thinking about it and being more open?
Yes. And he knows that I have a degree in biblical studies, and, he just shuts it down, and I respect him. You are allowed. I believe in autonomy and consent. And if you're ready, he knows where I stand, and he follows me on social media. And if he's ready to have that conversation, I'd love to help set him free. So that he can love himself and love his partner in a beautiful, consensual way. But
what do you think about some of these men that are so homophobic and go out of their way to kind of bash the LGBTQ plus community, but we all kind of know they have a secret? And there is somebody that is in South Carolina who is in the government, in a very high government. And, I don't want to, we'll just say Lady G.
Yeah.
And what do you think about those type of people where we are pretty convinced that we know who they are, and people have said with proof who they are, and but they're the ones that are the wanting to get the bill passed to law in Congress to stop a person who's transgender to use the bathroom that they as the gender they identify as. So what do you think about those people?
I think it's the same situation as very conservative Christian Republican women who hate feminists.
Yes.
I think the root issue is they are so angry that they don't get to be free like we are. They're so pissed that, like the conservative women that hate me and come after me, you're just jealous and angry that I have a voice and I have autonomy and I have confidence and I can live the life that I want as a single woman, doing whatever the hell I want to do, saying whatever I want to say. And for these men who hate on gay men and transgender people, they're just angry that they can't be free.
Yes.
And they need to have some kind of power and control to put those people beneath them because they're insecure and they need to feel better about themselves in some way. They're grasping for straws. So it's really a shame. And when I hear them talk, initially my first response is I want to punch them in their face. But my second response is I just feel really bad for them. I feel sorry for them that they might not get an opportunity to live this life as a free, loving, autonomous person.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for people like that too, because they're living their whole life. They're regressing. They're just so like, I don't know. They're just not being who they could really be, and they could be doing amazing things instead of putting all that hate out there.
I just made a video the other day for women, and I said, look, if you're a cisgender straight woman dating cisgender straight men, don't ever date a man who hates gay people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And wants to control with laws what they do, because they're insecure men and they will want to control you too. You're not exempt just because you're a cisgender straight white woman. They will want to control you too, because only insecure people need to put other people beneath them so that they feel better about themselves. Healthy, secure people are happy for anyone to live freely as long as they're not harming others.
Are you dating anybody now?
This is...
And we can skip this if you want to.
I had not publicly announced this, but I have been dating a man for the last 2.5 years.
I'm getting the inside scoop.
You are getting the inside scoop. And I have a lot of standards,
As you should. You should have very high standards for who you are.
Yes. And I need to be with a man who is emotionally mature, can regulate his emotions, and that I can feel emotionally safe around and be able to express my feelings without defensiveness and stuff.
Mm.
So 6 weeks ago, I broke up with him.
Okay.
And he is working very hard to get back in my good graces. And he's doing EMDR therapy and anxious attachment workshops and stuff, and having multiple, he's doing the work. And he did the work before, but see, there's a difference between reading a book, listening to a podcast versus and intellectualizing it versus integrating it and having behavioral change. And I just was like, I'm done. Go away. Fix what needs to be fixed. Come back. Let me see if it is fixed, and I'll reconsider, But I'm a really strict dater. Like I didn't kiss this man until our 13th date.
Good for you.
Because I was just tired of men just only wanting that and it being all about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, look, I could fall down that rabbit hole too, but
Yes.
I just try to be more intentional and, look really for patterns and good character and stuff. So he actually called me this morning and he's doing some good work, but we will see. I don't trust words. I trust actions and patterns.
Love that.
Yes.
And I'll just say, you would have no problem finding somebody new that would appreciate you. So, I mean,
well, in the red county, it is quite a problem.
Actually, I do take that back. Where you live, if you came to Boston, you would be swept up in a minute.
Boston. I'm from Delaware. I'm an Eastern Shore girl.
Oh, you are? Okay. So
yes.
if you went anywhere on the East Coast, you'd be swept up in a minute.
I agree. And I do have men from out of town DM me and calls with me in hopes, but I just can't do a long distance relationship.
No. I agree. I couldn't do it either if I was single and looking for somebody. I need to see them more than
me too. I need to touch, hold, and
yes, exactly. And you need to go to dinner, and you got to communicate in person and stuff. So 100%. I totally agree with that.
Yes.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Okay, and now back to the show. Do you ever look back and think about if you wouldn't have been so intelligent and so smart, and if you would have stayed where you were before you totally made this change and you figured out for yourself about what the Bible and religion really is, that you don't have to be this type of wife, you don't have to be this type of person, and you can be who you are, and you have your own mind and you figure things out on your own. Do you ever think about if you didn't do all that, where you would have been today?
Oh, I would be like AOC. When I went to Liberty, my degree originally was political science. I really wanted to get into government and change the world.
No, but I mean, like, if you would have been stuck in your marriage, like you wouldn't have left the marriage, you would have like still been doing all the religious stuff. You would have been listening to what the pastors told you to do exactly word for word. Do you ever think about if you were stuck in that life?
Well, I would be Joyce Myers and not have a relationship with my children.
Yeah.
But I don't. Sorry. The love that we have for our kids supersedes all kind of bullshit. So I'd like to think that I would have come to my senses when my children came out and needed me, But even when I had my children, there was a huge shift in my understanding of unconditional love.
Yeah.
Just as I'm holding that child, I just think, oh my God, am I a better parent than God is? Because there's nothing that this child could do that would ever allow me to send them to eternal torment, So how am I a better parent than God? So I'd like to think that having my children would have changed me even without losing the child that I did, that caused so much grief and was the turning point. I'd like to think that my maternal instinct, but then again, I see other moms walking away from their children, and it blows my mind.
There's still a lot of families that as soon as the kid says that they are gay or bi or trans or queer or whatever, they're like, you're out. You see, there's TikTok videos of kids telling their families, but there's also a huge shift that's happening too, where families are now starting to accept it. Because when you and I were growing up, somebody coming out in junior high or high school never would have happened.
No.
And now there are kids coming out in junior high saying that they are gay or transgender or lesbian or whatever. And that never, I mean, if I grew up in the Miami area, and if I would have come out as gay in high school, I would have been probably killed.
Yeah. Which is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Yeah.
I want to say that social media really changed that for people.
Yes.
When we start having these conversations and normalizing and everyone realizing, oh, me too. Yes, I'm not alone in this. So I do contribute social media to that. Now, there is a dark side, of course, because now we have the whole manosphere, red pill, Nick Fuentes, white supremacy bullshit that we have to listen to. They find each other too, unfortunately. But I do love that they have found each other and they can get a community now. Yeah. So I do love that. But yeah, I wish I was a superhero and I could just collect all of those kids up and just.
But I just want to just say something to you. What your videos do online for people is not just entertainment. And I really hope that you do take a moment tonight and you reflect on this about, you have 700 something thousand followers, right? Or
750 across the platforms. Yeah.
And think about all those people. And this is what I really hope that you think about once in a while. You think about how if you've touched one person out of that amount of people, and you're touching a lot more, you are putting so much joy out there. You're showing women how to be a true woman. You're showing the LGBTQ plus community that they are loved and cared about and that they're just people. And you are putting out such positive energy. You can feel in every video that you do. And I hope that you realize if we had more people like you in the world, the world would be such a better fucking place than we have right now. And and I hope you really, really do realize that. And if you don't, I hope you do take a moment sometimes to kind of say, just stop for a minute and think, wow, I am doing some good stuff. And people do appreciate me and I am helping people. And your videos just have this amazing energy to them, all of them.
Oh, thank you. Originally, I wasn't going to talk about the deconstruction journey, the LGBTQ allyship, because I thought, well, I'm not trying to convince people not to believe in God. I don't want to try and steer people, because there are truly people in the world that have to have faith.
Yes.
They don't have the comprehension ability or the nervous system to deal with uncertainty,
Yes.
And then I thought, I can't really talk about gay people and transgender people because I'm not gay or transgender. But when Trump came about, I was like, okay. It is people that look like me that have hurt so many people in the gay community and the transgender community. White women have harmed a lot of people. So I need to make reparations.
But allies are just as important. And that's what you are. Like, that's so important.
I am an ally, very much so. I would go toe to toe, 10 toes down. You get behind me and be safe and let your mama take care of this. Because I will, motherfucker. I was raised by, my mom did pass away 3 years ago, still supporting Trump. And I believe she got brainwashed, for lack of better words. R.I.P. mama. But you were.
Yeah.
Because growing up, my mama was a badass.
Yeah.
She didn't put up with shit from people. And I'm so grateful that was the kind of mom that I had an example of, and not a submissive, quiet woman. I mean, she was a devout Christian, but she wasn't a quiet one.
Yeah. How was your father?
Yeah, I got daddy issues. My father never learned to read. I like to tell myself, and I do believe that he's probably autistic, and has some learning disabilities. And he's just an out of sight, out of mind person.
Okay.
And he says that he's proud of us girls, but we wouldn't know it. You know, he doesn't reach out.
Yeah.
And he also wears the Trump hat and is a supporter, but he's an uneducated person.
Yeah.
And
most of them are, though.
Yes. And I don't really know if he has the ability to understand that he is being hoodwinked.
Yeah.
You know, by a con man. You know? So that has been a long healing journey for me. And why I was so desperate for God the Father to choose me and love me and be a part of Christianity and everything, until I walked away from all of that and realized that fuck it, I'm just gonna have to love myself.
Do you believe in religion at all now? Do you believe in God at all?
Well, get me in trouble.
I know I'm asking some deep questions, but I
have a hard time believing that an all-loving God exists, or even an all-knowing God. I have a really hard time believing that you can exist and allow the shit show to be happening down here and not intervening. I have a really hard time with the fact that I did everything right and you let my daughter die, but the motherfucking heroin addict down the street who's beating his wife every night and like his child gets to live. What? No. So if God does exist and I get to heaven, I'm probably going to get kicked out.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have some words, you know.
Yeah.
I don't care how divine you are. You didn't do a good job. I would have done a better job. Get it together. Lock in, dude, you know.
And I think a lot of people, I don't know if it's because I do a podcast and I talk with a huge amount of different types of people. And everybody, there feels like there's something that people are all discovering right now about the world, about religion, about everything, about energy and stuff. I feel like people are like becoming more open-minded about things and thinking like, okay, it doesn't actually all make sense, this whole Bible thing. And, you know, Trump's talking about releasing UFO files. UFOs weren't in the Bible. So how's that like all kind of come together? And maybe there are things in other planes. I mean, not to get so deep in paranormal, but all these things people are starting to kind of like open their minds a little bit more. And you can kind of feel it across social media.
Right. And when we have NASA showing us that there's, I might get this number wrong, but I think recently they just said that they've discovered 230 million galaxies.
Yes.
Of course there's life elsewhere. So if I believe in a God, I would say that I'm more pantheistic, which basically means that some divine or some conscious being broke itself up into a gazillion pieces in the Big Bang, and everything is God. We are all God doing life just as an experience.
Yeah.
So that's the closest I can get to that, because otherwise he's failing.
Yeah, I agree. Holly, I have to say, I could talk to you for about 3 days without stopping. Like, so you are so amazing. I'm so happy I had you on my show. I would love it for you to come back at some point.
Oh, I would love to, because I want to help people heal.
What you're doing on your channels is helping people. I'm telling you. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of bullshit social media channels that have 1 million followers and stuff. And you know, they're saying stuff and it's entertaining, or they're doing some TikTok dance and stuff. But the things that you're doing and the things you're saying is really like impacting the world.
That's what I want to do. I mean,
you're doing it.
Look, it would be easy for me to get on there and show these fabulous boobs and make lots of money, right?
Yeah.
Because I paid good money for them. But that's not what I want, and I have people book calls with me. I had last week a gay Australian Aborigine man book a call with me.
Wow.
I know. When would I ever have an opportunity to meet a gay Aborigine man? I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but
No, you are.
Okay. I am fascinated by people. I want to hear their stories. I want to help them put the puzzle pieces together to heal their hearts I'm really into giving people practical tips and skills to actually do behavioral change.
Yeah.
And not just the bullshit we heard in church of just give it to God. Pray about it. Trust the universe. No, bitch. I believe in life mastery. I want to take the reins by the horns and guide my life the way I want to do it. Because if this is only my one life, which who knows? Some days I'm Buddhist, I don't know.
I think reincarnation is true, personally, but.
And I hope I'm on a different planet. I want to try out all the other galaxies.
Same. Yes.
Yes, please. But also let me be pretty over there too, whatever that looks like. But, or maybe not. There's pros and cons to that. But I just want to help people experience heaven on earth.
Yeah. Well, you're doing it. You're helping people. You really are.
Thank you. I'm so glad you invited me. You're wonderful.
If somebody wants to get in touch with you and they want to have a talk with you, I'll put your TikTok and Instagram, I'll put all that into the description of this podcast or video, whoever's watching. But if they wanted to actually schedule a call with you, how would they do that?
They could just Google Hope with Holly, or they can go to one of my platforms and click on the link in the bio. All the information is there for the retreats that I host here, for the phone calls that they can book with me. I also have lots of documents. I try to do as much as I can for free to help people, because I'm still this pastor heart, I feel guilty making money, but I also got to make a living.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of documents. If they can't afford calls and stuff, then I have tried to create a lot of documents to help people understand abuse, understand their nervous system, and heal their nervous system, understand relationship skills and communication skills. My most selling one is the Dating and Self-Discovery Workbook, where we don't talk about dating the first half of the book. It's all about figuring out who you are, what you want, what your values are, what your
A lot of people could use that.
Yeah, let's figure out who you are first.
Yeah.
So that you know what to look for, because you can't aim at a target you don't see.
Yeah.
So I want to open people's minds and opens their hearts and just fill it with goodness.
Well, you are so amazing. Again, please come back on my show whenever you want.
Yes, I mean,
and if anybody's listening to this, if this resonates with you, share it with somebody. Go and give them Holly's TikTok and let them see these videos for themselves, because I have it on repeat on my TikTok. You're now in my algorithm, and I don't think you're ever going to leave it. So thank you so much for being on, Holly. You are so amazing.
Thank you, Zach. You too, honey. I love you.
I love you too. Thanks for listening, everybody. And I'll be back tomorrow with a new guest. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Okay. Bye, Zach.